That's such a weird sound, isn't it? I don't like it.
It is. It is. It feels like this is now official.
This is
Like
official. Yeah.
everything you now say will be documented.
Yeah, literally. Hi.
Hi.
Oh my God. Now correct me if I'm wrong. It is Andrea.
Andrea or Andy?
Oh, okay. Can I say
Yeah.
Andy? I have a good friend back home named Andy.
Yeah, I love Andy, but when I moved to the UK, people are like, that's a boy's name. You can't go by that name. And so I kind of dropped it a bit, but now I've kind of go back and forth. So
Hey, all right, Andy. And how do I pronounce your last name?
it's it's pronounced Fujarczuk, but it's easier just to say fire truck. Just just go with it.
Andy Fire Truck.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Um, Thank you so much for taking the time today. This is incredible. I'm so ecstatic to chat with you, but also just have found you on the internet somehow through Instagram, through just, I guess, word of mouth, but also like deep diving to find people who are in the same industry with the same similar passions with different, time.
Angles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally. Yeah, absolutely. Could you, well, I mean, this is our first time meeting,
I
like,
know.
kind of like on, I guess, visually.
You wouldn't think given the giggles that we have right now, eh?
True. I mean, yeah, like we've chatted obviously, but we've never spoken word out loud.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah. Could you tell me like your bio? Like if you were like, I mean, it could be if we're meeting for the first time, but also it could be like if you were doing a talk
I
today.
feel like this has turned into speed dating very quickly. Yes.
Okay.
Summarize yourself like very quickly.
I mean, it doesn't
Yes.
have to be super like we can deep dive. I mean,
No worries. If we deep dive, we'll be here forever, and we don't want to hear about that forever.
that's like half an hour.
Yeah. I feel like I think the funny thing about when you talk to most people in this industry is that very rarely is it ever someone who's like, "Oh, when I was young, I really wanted to be into whiskey or I wanted to be into spirits." It like just kind of happened by chance, and I don't. Yeah, I love where I am, but if you were to tell me 20 years ago this is where I'd be like, "There's no way. That's insane."
Yeah,
But
here
it
we
kind
are.
of makes it a little bit more cool. Like I said, I originally thought I was going to be a marine biologist, so I like to go to BC and be on the West Coast by the orcas, and I watched Free Willy too many times, and clearly that did not happen after I got my degree in environmental sciences. And then I thought, what am I going to do with this useless degree, more or less?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and I found the wine industry actually. So I got a diploma in winery and viticulture. I did a few harvests over in Niagara, where I currently live. And I loved the wine industry. I decided I was going to go, after I graduated and I learned a lot more, I decided to go to the UK and do an MBA, focusing on global food studies, working under an
NBA.
MW,
Sorry, what is that? An
a
NBA.
master's in business administration.
Oh, okay. Yep, go on.
Yeah. So I worked with an MW over at the Royal Agricultural University. And interesting fact, King Charles is actually like the head of that. So depending on when you graduate, you might actually have King Charles present your diploma for you, which is pretty damn cool. Yeah, I
Wild.
know.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. It's a very surreal place.
That's
Um, and I was
cool.
doing my level 4 WSET at the time, and I won a scholarship that was sponsored by Moët Hennessy. So I met the managing director of Moët Hennessy UK and Jancis Robinson. And they were like, "What are you doing once you've graduated from your MBA?" And I was lecturing part-time at a university. And he's like, "Send me your CV. Let's see if we can make this happen." And I think it was like 6 or 7 months later, I was working in London, in Belgravia, across from Buckingham Palace, across portfolio for Moët Hennessy. I was certifiably living the dream. Like I really was. It
Oh
was a very,
God. May I
yes.
ask how old were you at the time?
Oh, I was in my late 20s.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Holy. Phew.
I go to work and somebody like, "Do you want to go to the Victoria's Secret Victoria's Secret show after party?" Be like, "Yeah, sure, no problem. Let's go." Like it would because the thing is they were sponsoring all these events.
Yeah.
So everyone would be like, "Oh, yeah, there's a movie premiere. Do you want to go to, this or that?" And the other would be like, "Yeah, sure, let's go." And suddenly I'd end up in these really fancy hotels at these parties that were being sponsored because, that's where they want to be, surrounded by James Bond or what are the yeah, a bunch of different movies. But it was really, really cool. And like me in my like late 20s, early 30s was over the moon. I absolutely loved it. And the lifestyle was incredible. But I also realized that I really miss production
Mhm.
and I miss the connection to the product. Because when you work in luxury, you're selling a brand, you're not selling a product.
Yeah.
And I loved it in many different ways, but I kind of felt like I needed to get more connected to the industry a little bit more.
Mhm.
And I jumped back into distilling, so into distilling actually for the first time, and I created a lot of different gins at Thames Distillers in London, England. So
Okay.
yeah, on the south end of London. And then afterwards, after creating all these different gins, my husband said to me, after making all these gins for other people, why don't you make something for yourself? So we moved back to Canada. Well, I back for me. He is French, so he had to get a permanent residency and all of those kinds of things because we weren't barely even engaged.
Yeah.
And we started our own gin. And then this job at the college came up
No.
and
Uh,
at Niagara College. So I'm currently now a full-time professor of artisan distilling at Niagara College. And I absolutely love it. I get new students every year who just want to learn about distilling and learn about the industry, and I'm privileged to be able to help them out on their journey. And I also decided that I think a few years into my career at the college that I was starting to get a bit bored because as much as I love helping others, I felt like I wasn't really helping myself because you teach the same courses every single year. And after a few years, you're like, what am I learning? And I realized I wasn't learning and I wasn't contributing and I wasn't seeing change. And so I decided to apply for a doctorate at Heriot-Watt University. And so I'm currently, I'd say two-thirds of the way through my doctorate. I applied with a 6-month-old on my lap. And now I have two daughters that are 1 and 3.
oh my. Wow.
Yeah. And I would say part of the reason why I want to do this is because like there's this idea that number one in this industry, A, you can't have kids,
Mhm.
and two, once you do have kids, your life is over.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I got two girls. I need to prove to them that your life is not over having kids after having kids. So I literally made my 6-month-old like press the submit button when I applied for my doctorate, and then when I applied for the topic of my dissertation, I made my now 1-year-old submit that too.
Oh,
So
yes.
so they've been involved in the whole thing,
Can
which
you
is kind
tell
of
me
cool.
more about what your doctorate will be or will be?
So there's two main parts of a doctorate. The first part is like the course part, which, was fine, went through that. And the second part is when you decide to write a dissertation. And your dissertation is your contribution to knowledge. So what you are establishing is new knowledge that doesn't exist prior to this. So it's actually really interesting because you have to prove something that no one else has proven before. So you have to think in a very original way to be like, okay, what am I going to contribute back to the industry? How am I going to help and what's going to help? And that was the thing is like what I realized is when I was teaching my students in my classes that when I talked about Japanese whiskey, their faces light up. Or when you talk about Scotch, they got like super excited. Bourbon, oh my gosh, like you talk about Buffalo Trace and all these amazing things. And then you get to Canadian whiskey. And these are mostly Canadian students.
Yeah.
And the energy just whoosh.
Eyes.
And it drove me up the wall because I was like, you guys are Canadian, right? Like, you should be excited about this stuff. This is your homegrown, this is your legacy, right? Like, let's talk about this stuff and why it doesn't interest you. And so that inspired me to start this whole doctorate and understand what the role of country of origin is in the whiskey market and how consumer values tie back to that. So my dissertation topic is consumer values and the role of country of origin in the whiskey market.
So not Canadian specific.
No. So So I want to understand, and it's been a really interesting journey because, and actually, you're probably the first people that person that I've talked to about this,
Oh,
um, recorded. Is
okay.
it's like people are like, oh, well, Scotch is really known for its history and heritage, and that's what brings them value. And I'm like, fair play, right? Like they've got the history and the heritage, but what about Japanese whiskey? Like, how old is Japanese whiskey?
Well, the Americans brought over rye to Japan. Like, oh my God, I'm blanking on the date right now, but it was the samurai. It was just after the samurai period. Uh, Matthew Perry. Have you?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Japanese industry is so young.
yeah,
It's like 100 years old. And yet, Canada has been distilling for centuries.
yeah.
And yet, so people are like, oh, it's based in history and heritage. But then Japan has like based their entire credibility on craftsmanship and precision. And yet, up until recently,
And
so
more
much of
from
Japanese
Canada.
whiskey, yeah, exactly, from Canada. And yet so much of their whiskey was actually Canadian whiskey until a few years ago.
That's
But they built their entire heritage off of this idea that they won awards, they made a few that were amazing, there were a few were incredible, and it's like this collective reputation idea where those that established the industry were like up here. And then suddenly they realized recently that the rest of it, everything else is bringing it down. So they're trying to change regulations or change certification trademarks and whatnot, which is amazing. But that's basically what I'm trying to understand is how people have established whiskey regions, how consumers perceive whiskey based on where it's from. And the idea is to help regions like Canada raise their perceived value
Yes.
because there's so much amazing whiskey being produced in Canada, but we're stuck in what we call the bad reputation trap, which is very difficult to get out of, where we have a bad reputation and because we do produce a lot of low quality whiskey that's like siphoned down to the US and pays a lot of bills and it has a lot of jobs and like I'm not looking down on that, but there's also a lot of great whiskey that we make. So we basically need to learn how to separate ourselves, which I have an entire roadmap done in my head and in my in my computer.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, 100%.
yeah, but
Okay.
it's been a wild road. It really has been.
So then to give me a better understanding, you've been distilling for how long?
So I started distilling probably I think it was 2015.
Okay. And
I'm not currently distilling, so I'm a full-time professor.
yeah. And
And
the whiskey industry, I guess, would have stemmed back to Moët Hennessy days.
yeah, so I started back at Moët Hennessy, which was probably around 20, I'm getting my years confused. Maybe 2012. Maybe I'm getting these wrong.
Was Ardbeg part of Moët Hennessy at the time?
Yeah.
So
And
that
it was
would have been massive.
So
And
I got to go to Ardbeg. I got to drink some of their 1970s product. It was
huh,
very surreal being there, being like, at one point in time, Hiram Walker owned us. And I was like, wow, that's crazy.
yeah. Yeah.
It's it's very surreal. And Ardbeg's changed a lot since I was there in the respect that um, it has such a cult following. And the brand didn't always realize how special it was. And now they're leaning into it a lot more. Um, and they're bringing it and it's coming alive. It certainly is.
Yeah.
But it was when I used to work in sales, you didn't the brand didn't understand it. I didn't even understand how special it was until I went there and I was like, oh, I never want to leave. This is
I had the same feeling. I went there last year and I was taken around by the general manager of the distillery,
amazing.
and it was insane. I have to shout out to my friend Dawn, who is the Moët Hennessy rep in Victoria, Australia. She organized this all for me. She's incredible.
Amazing.
She's a Wesset, I said that correctly. Yeah, Wesset teacher herself, and she organized it, and I was blown away by well, everything about it, but I think I was especially blown away by Colin, I believe is his name, is the general manager, and his attention to detail.
Yeah.
Like not just like the one-on-one experience I had with him, but when we walked around the entire distillery, and he would be checking in on with every staff member.
Yeah.
I've never witnessed that from like top down management. Like I had not seen that level of attention to detail. Like he would go around, he knew everyone by their name. If it was someone working in the front of house or if they were bottling, and he'd be checking in on people. He would be like, oh, I just sorry, just give me 1 sec. I just need to make sure that they're all good over there. And or like we went into the distilling, and then he, had a fat chat with the distiller, and then into the barrel room. They were filling barrels, and he's like, you can't take photos in here. And I was like, absolutely not. But he's like, this is the process.
I
And
love it.
I was like, oh my God. Like, and then
Yeah.
we walk into some other distilleries and with the similar, how do I say, credential, and it's all red lines and I can't say this, I can't say that. And I understand there's different business perspectives, but I was just blown away. Like, yeah, I don't know.
It it's funny because I feel like we're coming into this place now where the humanity of a lot of trades have like left the building and people underestimate how important it is to manage people.
Mhm.
And I went through the Our Whiskey Foundation, and Dr. Don Livermore was my mentor for through the Our Whiskey Foundation. And I remember at one point in time, I said to him, I go, well, it must be hard like doing all your work when you're traveling. And he goes, no. He's every member of my team is responsible for what they are doing. When you train your team properly and you trust your team and you know your team, you don't have to worry. And it's that engagement where like you know everybody, you feel for them, you connect with them. And because you connect with them, they connect with what they're doing, and then they create a great product.
Yeah.
And it really is, I feel like we've lost this element of management and this element of leadership in this world where it's all like, I'm going to send you an email, it's going to be done, and there's none of this personal connection anymore.
Mm.
But that experience that you've had in Ardbeg is it's what I really think like the leaders of tomorrow are aware of making everybody feel special, making everybody feel that they contribute. And when I meet people who remember me and remember my name and look me in the eye and really give me 100% of their focus, and they're not on their phone and they're not like, those are the people that I'm like, you inspire me. Like it is a really cool skill that not everybody can do. But
Yeah, it's an energy, I think, an intention,
yeah,
passion above all, and then also asking a lot of questions and
yeah,
coming in to a room of people with uh, curiosity rather than judgment, as well,
yeah,
and being open. And
yeah.
if you are open yourself, your body language or the way you speak with people, I feel that a lot of people, even if they're, and this is, I guess, coming from my own experience, is that they will then come down to your level. If they're coming from a place of, I don't know, judgment, or a place of maybe, oh, I can't say this or I can't say that. But you're in the same industry and you're in the same role and it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
but then you're just like, hey, this is what we're doing.
Exactly. It's really about sharing. And I feel like a lot of people in our industry and other industries, they're like they refuse to admit to not knowing things. And I feel like as soon as you pretend that you know everything is the moment you're like, you're not going to learn anything.
Mhm.
It's like the more you share, the more you work together. And that actually goes back to um my dissertation is this idea of working together and developing a collective reputation. You're better off than working alone. And I won a scholarship to go to Bourbon Women in Kentucky. And
Uh,
yes, so I went to Symposium,
Symposium. Okay.
yeah, in Louisville.
Can you tell
And
me about that?
it,
Yeah. for sure.
It's the most incredible experience because it's like a warm hug filled with lots of amazing bourbon. Like that's the women, it's mainly women. Men are allowed to go too. It's a community. It's super supportive. Everybody just wants to know who you are in your journey and how to best help you. And that's like the one thing I really learned from this environment is you can meet as many people as you want, but if you don't ask for help, that's kind of on you.
Yes.
And if you ask for help, a lot of times people are like, "Oh, I can help you out, no problem." But we as humans, we're like, we know everything and we don't want to ask for help. Right? Like it's a very it's a scary thing.
Yeah. I
Makes
guess
you very
you have to show vulnerability
yeah,
and you have to show, yeah, like you said, like, I don't know everything. Like,
I
yes,
don't know.
yes, I have a bachelor's, and yes, I'm a professor, and yes, I'm this, and like, but, I've got, I'm only, a quarter way through my life or whatever. Like, I've got
Yeah,
this more to learn, to grow, to experience, to meet new people, new voices. And I feel the same way because, like, I have a bachelor's in environmental science, majoring in sustainability and management at Deakin University back home, and then I'm studying at the Institute of Brewing and Distilling for my general certificate. But I've only been in the whiskey industry for 5 years. I've been in hospitality as an industry for 14 years. And so, like, I feel like I'm scraping the surface of whiskey,
exactly.
like literally scraping the thing. And it's like I've been to about 40 distilleries around the world, and I talk to a lot of people, and I've had people tell me, "Oh, you're talking to too many people." Like, you're, and
No, no, no.
I'm like, "What do you mean I'm talking to too many people?" And they're like, "Oh, well, like, uh it was like a bad look or something." I'm like, "What do you mean?"
Oh
I don't
gosh,
understand.
no.
Like, I don't understand that. Like, knowledge is power, and
And
like,
community is power.
community is power. Yeah, 100%.
And
And
that's really what like I've learned is that as women, we need to start. So I'm super into having mentors. I love having a mentor. And through Symposium and being a SIP scholar, I have a mentor there. And one of the things that I learned is the difference between having a mentor and a sponsor.
oh,
And
tell me more.
I I know I never realized this until recently. Is that a mentor is somebody who like you can turn for guidance and will help you out and put you in the right direction. But a sponsor is somebody who will say your name when you are not in the room.
Mm,
So, for example, oh my gosh, you have to meet Andrea. She is doing X, Y, and Z. She would be perfect for you.
okay.
You know what I mean? And it's somebody who
Like a
isn't,
like a cheerleader, like, in a way,
but
but
it's not even a cheerleader. It's somebody who puts your name forward in a room when you are not there in a
but
positive way
okay.
and creates opportunities for you.
Okay. I feel like sponsor in my brain, I was immediately thinking money.
No. And that's what I thought too. But
Yeah.
you think about the amount of time somebody has referred to everything amazing you have done when you are not around. And you have people who will praise you for that.
Yeah.
You may never know who is a sponsor for you and who is not.
Sure.
But that is very powerful when somebody praises you
Mhm.
when you're not in the room.
Cool. I like that. Who's been
But
someone do you know of anyone that's been a sponsor for you?
well, I thought this was a bit crazy for me. Um, I had just made a new friend, and she's now become a very good friend of mine, named Heather Stogard, and she lives in Scotland.
Oh,
And she went to a dinner. I forget, I think it might have been, I forget which brand it was with, but she ended up sitting down with somebody next. It was a Pernod Ricard dinner at a distillery in Scotland. I forget which one.
was it the 100th, 200th, sorry, 200th
Yes,
anniversary?
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
And the guy she's sitting beside is from Toronto, and and we had had maybe like three conversations on WhatsApp before that when we went through the Our Whiskey Foundation. And suddenly he starts asking her she's like, "Oh, um, he starts asking her questions. Oh, do you know Andrea Fujarczuk? I've heard of like in her studies in X, Y, and Z." And what I didn't realize is that somehow Dr. I'm guessing, I still to this day do not know, was talking about my work in a meeting which made it to this guy. So suddenly Heather and somebody from Pernod Ricard in Toronto, which I don't even know his name, are having a conversation about my work in the middle of a distillery in Scotland, which is
That's amazing.
mind blowing. And that's what I mean is like, that's a sponsor for you. It's,
Yeah, okay. I love that so much. Oh,
yeah.
thank you for
And,
sharing that. Oh my God.
but that's how like opportunities are created for you and you don't even know it, right? Like, it's
Sure.
great to have people who point you in the right direction, but sponsors are the ones who often create opportunity for you.
Fact. Yeah. Oh, um, you know, oh my God, I'm gonna butcher saying her name and we're recording.
It's okay.
Christine, uh, oh my God.
Starts with a K.
Okay, yeah.
Hammer.
I literally, Christina Sherry.
Yes, yes. Christiana. Yeah.
Sienna, sorry. I was like, I was like, there's yeah, okay, Christian. Um, the way we met through Instagram, kind of similar paths as to how we met, was a friend of mine, Ryan Sweeney, who is in the UK, was the Morris Australian whiskey brand ambassador in the UK and Australia, is going to be opening their own venue or whiskey bar. They're non-binary, been part of the been part of the whiskey industry for, oh, my meeting will end in 10 minutes. Thank you. Uh, Long story short, Ryan, yeah, knows her and mentioned, I think, in passing or something.
Yep. See, exactly. He was a sponsor for you. There you go.
Yeah, and I and then we linked up on Instagram. We chat often now, and I was just like, this would never have happened, or maybe it would have, but like I don't know. Like this is wild.
See, it's people who say your name when you're not in the room.
Mm, I love that so much. Okay, cool. Can you tell me about the symposium more? What was
Oh,
it? And we're talking.
so Bourbon Women was started, oh, maybe 15 years ago. I can't even tell you, by
Okay.
Peggy No Stevens.
Mhm.
And it was supposed to be, and it still is, it's an environment for women to enjoy bourbon and to get together. And it's directed towards women. It's mostly consumer based, but it's also a lot of the industry contributes back to it. And it's incredible because it's probably the first conference that I've been to that's half industry and half um, consumer. And because of that, I almost feel that the sessions are more approachable and the sessions are more exciting. And you learn a lot more from it because there's not that pretentiousness of the industry where it's like, we're assuming you have knowledge that comes out here and we're going to go up here and I'm going to talk down a siphon. We've all been in those things before. And
Oh
by the end, you're
yeah.
like, you're so bored and dead by the end of it.
Yeah.
And like so I was supposed to go on a field trip and last minute I decided that I wasn't going to go and instead I decided to hang back and they had a session on with Michter's
Yeah.
and Andrea Wilson, who is the master of maturation, along with Catherine, who's their master blender, was there giving a presentation on Michter's. And
Oh,
I think there was like 10 people who showed up for this. I know.
kidding
And yeah, so it was basically a private tasting with these two living legends.
me?
And they talked all about water and the contribution, and we did our own blending exercises. And I know it was like phenomenal because you could get as geeky as you wanted, but you could also ask the most stupid questions, which I am very good at doing in these sessions.
What?
But it like that's what I mean by it's a safe place. It's a warm hug.
Yeah.
And I love it for women because a lot of times when you go to these, especially consumer-based events, it's predominantly males and it's predominantly males who are showing off their knowledge and want like actively want you to feel stupid. Um,
Yeah.
and by no means are all men like this at
Oh,
consumer events,
absolutely not.
but it just can be intimidating at times for especially a beginner woman. Um, and you go here and it's crazy because there are women who have flown all from all over the country just to go to this event. and they have different chapters around the country where it's like you'd meet somebody like, oh, I'm from the Detroit chapter. Oh, I'm from the California chapter. Oh, I'm from, and it's just all women with one thing in common that they love bourbon.
Yeah.
And so it is a really incredible community to join that I've never experienced anything like this before. And I'm very grateful now to be a part of it. And they're a very giving community, and all they want to see is people succeed. So it's called Bourbon Women. Their event is called Symposium. It's in Louisville every August.
Oh,
And
missed it.
yeah, you just missed it. But you got to apply to be a SIP scholar next year, girl.
Okay, I will. August, okay, in 2026. Wait, how far advance do I have to apply?
March.
Oh, okay,
March.
that's not far away. Uh,
Yeah,
it is.
I know.
It is, but it isn't.
In my head, it's January already. I
I
get it.
know, same. It's like we're 4 days into September. Like so much is going on.
So
Uh,
I want to ask you a question.
okay, how much time do we have? 5 minutes.
Okay. So where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? Like, what's your goals?
Oh,
If
okay.
somebody were to say you can make anything happen in 5 to 10 years within reason, like I
Within,
can't win the lottery for you, but like,
okay. It's a big one. Because it's a big one because my goals and what I like to try to achieve for my life and lifestyle, I feel has changed dramatically in the past 5 years. Like I'm 20, I just turned 27. A lot of people think I'm in my mid 30s, and that's okay. Like I have no issues with that.
I think it's more what you've accomplished.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Um, so like as I said, I've just started dipping my toe in the I've just started really dipping my toe in the whiskey production hands-on stuff,
It's
and,
exciting.
which is really exciting. So uh, I met Rachel Barry last year in Australia,
Ooh,
or the year before, I think it was last year. And she definitely inspired me. And obviously, and I think whiskey blending sensory analysis is my jam. I
oh, okay.
I have um I I have synesthesia. Is that how you say it? I actually I struggle to pronounce words a lot. I believe that is part of the neurospicy stuff. Um, but see, this is where now I'm not making eye contact with you.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
But it's like sensory analysis I find really fascinating and problem solving.
Oh, I
So,
love that.
for example, the other day we were running out of I have as we talked about the other like recently, like I have a few different avenues at the moment of kind of work. One of my avenues is that I'm a front of house marketing manager. The other avenue is freelance working in, oh, hello, kitty. There's a cat uh, trying to get to my tea. Um, and I did pour a whiskey earlier just in case we were going to have one, and then I forgot to mention it. Um,
Just go for it, girl. Go for it.
um, well, it's now appropriate time because it's almost 11 o'clock. But so, oh yeah, the blackberry syrup is so I was running out. I was making 100 mojitos. It was Labor Day
Wow.
weekend. I had a blackberry mojito on special. I was running out of it. We couldn't run to the store. We were too busy. And so my first instinct was just like, I need to recreate this on the fly. And I'm not going to recreate something that doesn't taste like the product. And it was 183 syrups. It's a French brand. I don't know if you've heard of it or had it before. I think it's called 183. Anyway, they're quite a large commercial scale syrup company, and they're very consistent, and it's a very high quality good product. It makes more sense to buy from them to make it myself most of the time for cost and
Yeah, yeah.
consistency and flavor wise. It's like it tastes like fresh blackberries. It's not the fake stuff. So then I had the brewers in the back, Steve, one of the brewers in the back, Steven, and I made 3 different samples for him. And I was like, can I just on the fly give you 3 samples and you tell me what tastes like this, the control product?
Wow.
And he did. And he's like, that one. And I was like, all right, sick. Thank you.
Let's do
Ran back.
it.
I have no time. I like ran back and uh, essentially I had some frozen blackberries in the freezer. I
Perfect.
chucked it in the sous vide for, and this is not usually how I would do it, but in a pinch, I chucked it in the sous vide for like half an hour at like 60 degrees Celsius, equal part sugar, added some salt malic, and salt and malic, yeah, and then strained it off. Or maybe, yeah, it was about half an hour, just over. Squished it all up, double strained it, and then back blended the syrup. The little bit I had left over, I back blended it, and then had the control sample next to it. And I was like, I got my girls, the bartenders, to taste it. I was like, can you taste the difference between that? They're like, one's a little bit more jammy and thicker, but apart
Hmm.
from that, it's pretty similar. And I was like, great.
Let's do this.
Just let's go.
Let's do this.
Because I'm like, there's no time. And like I hate to have to take a special off the menu on Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
Like it's the busiest time of, or not the busiest time, but it's almost the busiest time of year. I've got less than a minute now. But that's that, sensory, I think, is what immediately I think about. And if that's in a brand, oh no,